let's talk about Lizzo. There is a lot here. So I'm
Yes.
sure some of you guys have been following this.
Right.
Lizzo, of course, known for her sort of body positivity
Yeah.
and being this sort of like female empowerment symbol, huge artist, many record-breaking hits, all of that good stuff. So pretty shocking then, given her brand, that she's been accused now, put this up on the screen, 3 of her former dancers have accused her of weight shaming, so fat shaming them, and pressuring them to do all kinds of crazy stuff at a strip club. Let me read you some of the allegations. They say that she created a hostile work environment. This was all in a lawsuit that was filed last week. They allege she pressured one of the dancers to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam strip club and subjected the group to an excruciating audition after leveling false accusations that they were drinking on the job. That audition, they said, was so brutal. It lasted 12 hours, and they were so terrified for their jobs that one of the dancers actually soiled herself because she was so afraid of just asking to go to the bathroom. Horrific stuff. The dancers accused Lizzo of calling attention to one dancer's weight gain and later berating, then firing that dancer after she recorded a meeting out because of a health condition. I'll give you some of the details about what happened allegedly at the club. Apparently, she began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas, and eating bananas protruding from other performers' vaginas as well. Lizzo then turned her attention to one of the dancers who was suing her and began pressuring Miss Davis to touch the breasts of one of the nude women, pressure that that dancer ultimately gave into. She felt very sort of like bullied, and like from listening to some of the interviews with the dancers, they felt very much like their job was on the line in all of these interactions. So where Lizzo may have been like, oh, we're at the club and we're friends or whatever, they're viewing this as like, this is my boss. This is my entire career on the line. I do think it, one factor here is she's known for, and but full disclosure, I've been to a Lizzo show, so I've watched some of these dancers perform. She's known for her dancers being bigger, consistent with her image. And so if you are a high-level dancer who has that physique, it's probably hard to find work in other areas. So you feel extra pressure of like, I got to keep this job because this is the dream, this is the thing. Without it, I don't even know if I'll be able to work. I have a little bit of an interview with 2 of the dancers who are involved in this lawsuit, just talking about their experience. Let's take a listen.
Did Lizzo know about this behavior that you're alleging?
Well, Lizzo was a participant in Lizzo is the reason that I specifically was pressured to touch a new performer. She singled me out at the club that I didn't want to be at, but was told I couldn't really back out since I already said I was going before I knew what it really was. Once I had time to research it, me and Noel Rodriguez also, we figured out what it was, and we were like, okay, maybe we should not go, this is a little weird. But then we were told that a head count was already sent, a list was already sent, so she knows who's coming. And at that time, we had already been kind of fearing for our jobs and being ostracized. So it is it's an understanding in the camp that if you don't really participate and try to get in with Lizzo, you won't be booked on as many jobs. She won't like you as much. You'll be ostracized later. So we stayed in the corner. We talked to each other the whole time. We tried to ignore, what was happening. A lot of crazy things were happening. And after a lot of explicit things went on, Lizzo kind of saw me, singled me out. She was kind of going around like inviting people to touch the nude performers, and I guess it was my turn.
She goes on to say they started chanting. She felt completely pressured, humiliated. She didn't know what to do. So anyway, that is their side of the story. Lizzo has responded. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. This is what she had to say. She said, I'll read this in full. This was posted on Instagram. These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they are not valued as an important part of the team. What do you think, Saagar?
I mean, you know, basically calling these people a liar, not great, especially whenever you're so powerful. So one of the reasons why I thought it actually was interesting to cover this story was because there are actual real-world implications outside of tabloid drama, of which I've been fascinated by. Let's put this up there from Showbiz 411. They say that Lizzo's record sales and streaming and airplay have collapsed in a single day after the harassment scandal broke wide in a career crisis. They say that the, quote, 2 days, her record sales, including streaming and airplay, have collapsed. Looking at numbers from Luminate, the trends have not just fallen, but have evaporated. It's as if every radio has pulled Lizzo hits, fans stopped streaming the records, and they forgot about buying them or downloading them. This is actually incredibly rare. We did not see a similar instance whenever it came to Kanye West, I think, for example, or there, I mean, listen, you know, many people in the music business and all that are not exactly angels. And we've been talking about this, about why I think this like kind of culturally resonated.
Yeah.
Which I think that because she cast herself as such an image of female empowerment, as above the rest, as a genuine like liberal icon, that whenever she is found to just be like a rich, pompous, you know, a rich, pompous, mean girl, like probably everybody else in this profession, that people are like, hey, you know what, screw you. Like there's a real personal identification, I think, that a lot of people personally found, you know, with both her music and kind of the way that she presented herself and all of that. And of course, you know, media kind of blew that up out of proportion, but it's not like she wasn't playing into it. And so when it turns out that she's just like everyone else, you know, who has too much money and is the center of attention and acts like this and treats their employees like pawns and then calls them unprofessional whenever they speak out, you're like, oh, hold on a second. You've got a titanic ego that really backstops a lot of this, and that led to an actual consumer backlash.
She also apparently put this next piece up on the screen. She's also apparently lost 220,000.
So how many does she have?
Instagram followers. I don't know. I'll let you look that up. But 220,000 people is a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah, let me go.
She's got 13 million, so it's not exactly all.
Yeah, as a percentage, it's I guess not all that much. But listen, I'm going to be honest with you. So I saw the headlines first before I read in detail the allegations. And you know, obviously, like the stuff that happened at the strip club is the most salacious when you're talking about, you know, bananas and vaginas and whatever. But the part that is the most dissonant with her brand is the fat shaming part.
100%.
And I will say, when I actually read the allegations with regards to the alleged fat shaming, it's a little ambiguous. I don't doubt that. So it required the dancer's interpretation of what Lizzo was saying. It's not like she was just flat out like, you're a fat ass, it's disgusting, et cetera. It was nothing like that. It was like, she had performed at South by Southwest, and when she was there, this dancer had just gained some weight. And afterwards, they were having a discussion about that performance, and this dancer, Ari, said, you know, I'm feeling a lot better than I was there. And Lizzo said something to the effect of, yeah, because we were worried about how you were doing. And there was another comment that was made around the same time about, like, we weren't sure of your commitment. And the dancer interpreted that because she says, listen, everything about me was the same. My energy level, my dancing, my capabilities, my commitment, all of that was the same. The only thing that was different at that festival was that I had gained weight. So I just want to say it was a little less clear cut than Lizzo just out and out being like, you're fat and I hate you, or anything that blatant. So that was this dancer's interpretation. I don't know how that works out in terms of a lawsuit. I think some of the other stuff is like, you know, these dancers clearly felt very pressured. Like, if they didn't want to go to this club, they just wanted to chill, or this wasn't their thing. The one dancer, Ariana, who's involved in this suit, said she was known as being sort of like the most modest. And they didn't feel that they really had a choice in participating in these activities. They felt there was a lot of kind of bullying, shaming, harassment, that Lizzo created this, you know, really toxic setting where they just felt sort of like powerless and like their whole lives were on the line if they didn't go along with whatever was happening there. And there's also this piece about the woman who led the dancers, was, they say, you know, really very religious, fine, but then really proselytizing to the others. But then at the same time would like shame them for being virgins and post this. So she was like opposed to premarital sex, but then she was also like posting publicly and humiliating some of the girls who were virgin. Weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
and clearly the hypocrisy is why this is a problem for her. Because if you compare this to other artists and various things that they've done, it's really pales in comparison, not excusing Liz's behavior, but it pales in comparison. It's the fact that she created this whole brand and then you get a little peek beneath the surface and it's like, you are not remotely who you are claiming to be to the public.
I mean, I think personal experience, I think a lot of people have been in this situation. There's nothing more dehumanizing than having to like pretend and just go with the flow with whatever your boss wants, specifically during like a social thing where you're like, I don't want to be here right now. This is one of the last things that I would rather do. I'm giving up, you know, my personal time and like so many of the things that I would rather, pretending to like the type of food or whatever the hell that you're putting in front of me and having to sit there and kind of eat it with a smile on your face while you secretly hate yourself inside. That is a terrible experience. So like when she was talking about that, I'm like, man, especially, you know, you're on the road, you're tired, you don't want to be doing this. And she's like, you got to come to the club. It's like, I cannot, for me personally, I cannot imagine a more nightmarish type situation. But millions of Americans are put into that same type of environment in their own way, you know, by being forced into something or whatever with their boss. Sometimes it's okay, you know, sometimes you actually do want to do that and there's a genuine friendship. But the power differential is one that people who are bosses very often forget, and then they delude themselves into thinking that everybody actually does want to be there,
these
when
are
they
just my
really
friends.
don't. Yeah,
and
no, it's like, no, you're not.
You're still like, you're still their boss. You're still really famous. You're still really powerful.
Yes.
They, you know, you really kind of have their fate in your hands. Do you think that she can recover from that? Clearly, her career, Lizzo, has taken it.
She'll be fine.
I mean, my thing is like, I don't know. I'm kind of biased because I already found her music like a little bit tired.
Yes.
You know, since the initial like breakout hits, I haven't really been feeling it that much. So part of me is like, maybe her thing is just a little bit tired anyway. In which case, I don't think she recovers. But clearly, a lot of people still like the music. So
people love Lizzo. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in terms of like I think she'll be fine. You know, in the longer run, she'll eventually apologize or do whatever. I do think that, kind of to your point, there is something tired about the brand of like lean in feminism that Lizzo-ism, I guess, embodies. And there's something around like the political correctness discussion and the whole like fat acceptance movement and all of that which just codes cringe, I think, in a way, whereas it would have been more celebrated by the media, I would say even 3, maybe 4 years ago. Maybe partially also why people are willing to turn on her, you know, now at this point. So I don't know. I don't know what it all kind of leads to. I'm the last person, I guess.
I feel like if the music is good, people are gonna overlook.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Kanye.
If the music is not that good, then people will move on.
Kanye's literally like espousing Nazi-ality. Go walk into a gym anywhere in this country, they're gonna be blasting Kanye. Just the other day, I was doing a set.
But it's like
some Kanye came on. I was like, that's a good song,
but it's like Kanye from like at least 10 years ago.
Sure,
The new stuff is trash.
Fair enough.
Total trash.
But if power comes on and you're at the bottom of a set, it feels pretty good. All right.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.